Let's talk some Minnesota Vikings in the off season here. Let's go. Welcome back to Vikes Vibes. This is DJ as always. How is it going? It's been a while since I did a video, but it's a little slow. OTAs are going on right now in the NFL. So hopefully we're gonna pick back up a little bit in a short while. We're gonna get going with stuff. So um first things first, I've talked about this a few different times. The Justin Jefferson situation. It's you know, it at this point it's getting kind of frustrating to be totally honest, personally with me, but you know, a according to some sources out there, the Vikings and Jefferson have been, in the works to finalize this agreement between the two for the past about 17 months or so. So, and it just hasn't clicked yet, hasn't been official yet, and it's been about a year and a half. So, a lot of people say it is going to be a landmark type deal, and some of the other wide receivers in the league, I think they're kind of waiting to see what Justin Jefferson's deal is going to be. At this point with the Vikings, I still go back to the same thing. I don't know what is taking so long. What I just don't understand. I really don't. It it's so frustrating. There's a Mike Florio out there, Pro Football Talk, and he is also on Football Night in America on NBC. He joins KFan, which is a Minnesota radio station, every week, every Wednesday morning. He actually, he kind of has a theory suggesting that the Vikings are playing hardball with Justin Jefferson here and his extension. I mean, he said if you want him, you pay him. I mean that that is 100% what I think too. If you really want this guy, go and sign him. Like, give him the bag. Like, I, what are we doing? I just it's not going to get any cheaper the longer you wait. It's it just it I don't know how else to explain it than it doesn't make any sense to wait this long, even this long after the draft. It I just don't understand. I mean, if you want him, you pay him. If you don't want him, you trade him. Which neither of them have happened. So, um, you don't do this the playing games and you know, from people's perspectives here that's what it is. The Vikings are playing games with Jefferson, and that that doesn't go very well. It doesn't end in a very good situation, and as the saying goes, you f around and find out, and it's you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. I mean, and in this case, you play with this kind of stuff, and you could lose the face of the franchise here. So, um, uh, Vikings, I mean, come on. Let's stop waiting around and just sign the guy already, man. Like it, it just but I mean, and then on the other side, the everyone in the Vikings camp says differently, you know. Oh, we're so close to having a deal done. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna make sure gonna get it done. You know, KOC and Kwesi, um, you know, how much they admire Justin Jefferson, blah, blah, blah. I mean, even if that wasn't their plan, even if they are actually playing hardball, that's what they're gonna say no matter what, you know? Like, that you can't go out there and tell the media the honest to God truth all the time. Like, that'll get you in trouble. So, you can't go out there and say to the media, "Oh, yeah, we're playing hardball here," and then Jefferson sees that or his agent and be like, "Oh, really now?" Like, "Alright, you're gonna go out there and say that to the media? Okay, well, we're gonna play hardball too." I mean, it 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 just that makes sense. Either way, that's what they're gonna say. So, um, I mean, that part is that's that. I mean, it don't be playing hardball with Jefferson. Just sign the guy. We need him. Obviously, give him the bag. He deserves it. End of story. Stop waiting. Um, now I've seen a few different projected depth charts for the Vikings. And most of them are kind of the same, but I'm gonna go over the one that I saw from ESPN. So you know, with a three receiver tight end, one tight end set, uh, they have quarterback Sam Darnold as a starter, then JJ McCarthy at the backup, and then Nick Mullins, and then Jaron Hall. So I mean, we haven't got rid of any quarterbacks yet. So I mean, they gotta have all four of the quarterbacks on the depth chart there. So they do have JJ as the backup to Darnold. And then running back, they have Aaron Jones, then Ty Chandler, Kenny Nwandu, Miles Gaston, which I honestly didn't think we still had Miles Gaston. I know that we signed him and then we released him and then we got him back again, but I thought that after the season that that was it for him. I didn't know he was still on the roster. So, and then Justin Jefferson at wide receiver 1, obviously, and then Jordan Addison at the 2, and then they have Brandon Powell at wide receiver 3, so it'd be the slot receiver. Um, you know, and then they got Trent Sherfield, Lucky Jackson, um, Tristan Jackson, Jalen Naylor, N'Keal Harry. I thought that's another guy that I thought he was gone too. Um, but according to this, we still have him. And then tight end, obviously TJ Hawkinson. Um, you know, he probably won't start the season with his injury, but they have him, you know, at the 1 for the tight end, and then Josh Oliver, then Robert Tonyan, which we just signed, you know, about a week ago or so, and he was a very good tight end with the Packers, and then most recently, I believe, with the Chicago Bears. That is a very good and exciting sign for us, especially with TJ Hawkinson's injury to start the season. To have depth there at the tight end position. You know, we have Josh Oliver and Johnny Munt still. They have Johnny Munt at the 4th tight end position, and Robert Tonyan on the 3rd. So we have really good depth at the tight end position, I believe, and I think we're set there. We're in good position there. And then fullback CJ Ham, he's the only fullback on our roster. And then left tackle, we got Christian Darrisaw, and then his backup is the rookie Walter Rouse. And then left guard, Blake Brandel as of right now. And then backup is Henry Bird. Center, Garrett Bradbury, obviously. And then backup to him is Dan Feeney, which we just picked up in free agency. And then third string center would be Michael Juergens. And then right guard, Ed Ingram. And then backup, Tyrese Robinson. Third string, Doug Nestor. Right tackle, Brian O'Neill. He's got a questionable status for him as well. And then back up to him is David Questenberry. And then third is Jeremy Flax. And fourth is Spencer Rolland. Then we go to left defensive end. They have Jerry Tillery starting here, actually, which I'll get to this a little bit in a little bit when I go down the line here, but it's kind of confusing to me. But next to him, they have Jonah Williams as his backup, and then the rookie Levi Drake Rodriguez. And then nose tackle, they have Harrison Phillips, then Jaquelin Roy, Tyler Manoa, and then Taki Tamani. And then right defensive end, Jonathan Bullard, which we got from Houston in free agency, and then Jihad Ward, and then James Lynch. And then linebacker, Jonathan Greenard. Actually, I take that back. Jonathan Bullard it did not come from Houston. I'm sorry. I got him mixed up with Jonathan Greenard or Grenard. Jonathan Grenard he came from Houston in free agency. I'm corrected here. And then his backup is Andre Carter II, and then Bo Richter, the undrafted rookie. And then the other linebacker position, we got Ivan Pace Jr. as number one, and then Tamu Gruder Hill, and then Brian Asamoah, and then KJ Cloyd. And then we got right inside linebacker Blake Cashman, who also came from Houston in free agency. And then we got Abraham Beauplan, and then Dallas Grant. And then I don't really know why there's so many linebackers in here, but it says SLB. I don't know. And then they got Andrew Van Dinkel, who we got from Miami in free agency. He's got questionable status as well. And then his backup. This is where it doesn't really make any sense to me. His backup is Dallas Turner, the rookie. Well, Dallas Turner's an edge. And don't you think that they would want to start Dallas Turner? That's I don't know. That's a little iffy for me. I feel like I would probably start Dallas Turner with Jonathan Greenard on the other side. But hey, I'm just a fan. I'm not a coach, so we'll see what happens there. And then we got cornerback Caleb Evans, and then Josh Metellus, Andrew Booth Jr., and then Tyree Jackson, the rookie. And then strong safety, Harry the Hitman Smith, and then Jay Ward. Free safety, Tam Beasy. It's a movie. And then next to him, his backup Theo Jackson, and then Lewis Seen, who has been all but I don't know how to explain it. Not embarrassment. That's not what I'm looking for, but a letdown, I guess, since he's been drafted. I know he had a gruesome injury in London, but ever since then he's not been able to get going. I know he hasn't really seen that much time, so he hasn't really been able to prove himself. But when he has been out there, he's not shown anything. So it's just kind of a letdown with Lewis Seen. And then we go to the other cornerback. We got Byron Murphy Jr. And then Shaquille Griffin, which I'm really excited for that pickup as well on free agency. And then we got Mekhi Blackman and then Jalen Williams. So then we go to special teams. Our place kicker they have Will Ricard in there, which he is a rookie. And then John Parker Romo, punter Ryan Wright, and then Seth Vernon. Ryan Wright will also be the holder. And then punt returns, Brandon Powell, and then Devron Harper. And then kick returns, Ty Chandler, and then Kenny Nwandu, and then Devron Harper. And then the long snapper is Andrew DePaula. So that is the projected Minnesota Vikings depth chart according to ESPN. So, and I mean, for the most part, I agree with it. That Dallas Turner thing is what gets me. It just kind of confusing when it gets to that point. I just don't understand that. But yeah, that's. I mean, for the most part, I think that's what it's going to look like for us to start the season. So, now going into OTAs are going on. Obviously, Justin Jefferson isn't there. He wasn't there last year. No big deal. But it could end up being a big deal. I'm not starting to totally panic at this point. Like I said before, I just don't know why and how we haven't given him an extension yet. So, but other than that, OTAs, just some little tidbits that I've found, and this is actually it's from NewYorkTimes.com, and actually the Athletic, offensive coordinator Wes Phillips said rookie quarterback JJ McCarthy, the way he has absorbed the offensive system is like it's outstanding. He, he just comes in to practice every morning, having studied the previous day's install plus more, and then his arm talent is crazy. He said, "You see the juice that got when he lets go of the football," and they said that where is it? He's got a very tight spiral that they say that you'd expect flames to be coming out of the ball the way that McCarthy's spirals are thrown. There was a couple times where he held his eyes downfield and then he couldn't identify an open receiver, and then he rolled and scrambled and he hurled the ball downfield toward receiver Trent Sherfield. So that's really good to hear. The spiral and the arm talent, and it just, they said the ball explodes out of his hand, which is a lot of pitching coaches say that in baseball. So, um, it's kind of like the same here a little bit, I guess. Um, they said that they'll have to monitor the torque on his arm. And then, Sam Darnold, obviously, in his first team, he's been working with the first team offense, obviously, throwing most of the reps in 7-on-7 periods. Um, his ball, it doesn't zip down the field like McCarthy's does, but they say that Darnold's accuracy is a little better, which is, I mean, he's got more experience there, but just the accuracy, and that could also be, um, due to being with the first team offense as to maybe the second or third team offense that JJ McCarthy has, route running by these receivers that definitely could make an impact on throwing accurately versus not accurately, um but anyways, and then it says that they didn't. So before the draft, it was pretty obvious we were gonna draft a quarterback, but they said that they didn't actually inform Sam Darnold until about half an hour before the NFL draft started, and they just wanted to keep Darnold in the loop, which is, I mean, it's kind of a last minute thing, unless they really weren't sure about going after quarterback until that time. I mean, I kind of feel like their mind was made up a long time before that, but um, you know, Darnold accepted it positively. Um, you know, feeling like he could mentor the draftee, considering his own background. So, that's a real veteran move right there. Is accepting the fact that the team you're on, they're going to draft a quarterback. I know a couple of years ago, with the Titans, I recall a time where, when the Titans drafted Malik Willis, and Ryan Tannehill, the starting quarterback for the Titans at that time, he he wasn't having it. He said, if you think I'm going to teach this guy anything, you got another thing coming. It's like, dude, seriously, like. But Darnold wasn't like that. He's like, I'll mentor this guy. I'll do whatever I can. And that's a real veteran move. So, um, and Darnold and McCarthy actually didn't meet for the first time until Game 4 of the Minnesota Timberwolves and Denver Nuggets playoff uh, series, which was, uh, God, that's got to have been 3 weeks ago, maybe. So, um, they got to chat a little bit there, and yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know if that's the first time they met in person or the first time they talked completely, but um, yeah, he said that McCarthy's asked him countless questions inside the quarterback room, and Darnold has responded willingly and openly. Um, the more he can share, the better. And he said, Darnold said that it all depends. Um, the quarterback's environment. He said, the coaches, the skill players, the system, and the vibes within the locker room. It totally depends on the situation, the organization, and the guys in the locker room. It's about what is surrounding the quarterback, especially as a high draft pick, which it makes complete sense for him. He went number 3 overall to the Jets, and his environment was absolutely crap. Still players, coaches. I mean, maybe not so much coaches, but still players. Guys in the locker rooms, the vibes there. It wasn't good for him. He knows it. He knows what that's like, especially going from the Jets and the Panthers to the 49ers. It's a complete night and day turn, I'm sure. And then now with the Vikings, I mean, um, another tidbit from OTAs, running back burst. Alexander Madison didn't really have that, and now we see it with Aaron Jones a lot. Um, sidestepping his way through the interior of the offensive line and jump cutting his way past tacklers, they say. Something that Alexander Madison didn't really show. So that is exciting. Like I said in past videos, that Aaron Jones is probably the most excited signing from this offseason that I'm most excited about to see this season. So um I'm looking forward to that, and then hopefully kind of Aaron Jones will probably do most of the workload, but hopefully they fit Ty Chandler in there at sometimes and kind of have a split backfield to take uh, some beating off of Aaron Jones and kind of just throw the defense off for a little bit and stuff like that. So um, let's see what else. I'm just going through this list here. I mentioned Robert Tonyan um, when I went through the depth chart. They think that he's really going to help us. I believe he will too, especially with TJ Hawkinson being out and being able to have that depth with TJ being out. With Tunyon, with Josh Oliver and Johnny Munt. I think we're in a really good spot with the tight ends, even with TJ being out. So I feel comfortable with our tight ends here. Um, and I mentioned Andrew Van Ginkel. Um, he didn't participate in some workouts recently from a foot injury suffered in the last game in the regular season with the Dolphins. And they're hoping that he's going to be healthy for training camp. So, at this point, I feel I'm not too worried about Andrew Van Ginkel. I mean, we're still, about 3-4 months away from the regular season. That's a lot of time to recover and get your body right and stuff. So I'm not too worried about it. Um, Special teams coordinator Matt Daniels, um, he admitted that our punter Ryan Wright went through somewhat of a sophomore slump last season. In his second season, um, he ranked 33rd among 33 qualified punters in the percentage of punts inside the opponent's 10-yard line, which ooh, ouch. That hurts. Ouch. Um, he held the lead with the highest touchback percentage, whereas in year one, uh, he had the lowest in the league. Um, let's see here. That's really about it. Um, just yeah, that's really about it. I was going through this, but it's basically stuff I've already said. So I'm not gonna go over it again. So um, yeah, I just wanted to um, hop on here and do a video quick and just you know just talk Vikings and my last video was the schedule release, so I went through predictions and every game by game. So if you haven't seen that, go back and go watch that video. I break each game down and I did my prediction and um, what our record will be at the end of the season. Is all predictions, so don't hold me to anything. So yeah, I will work on getting another video up soon. In the next couple days or the next week or so. So, um, and if you have not yet subscribed, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just one click of a button and hit the notification bell to get notified for future videos. We're trying to get up to 200 subscribers. We're at 127 right now. So let's keep it going. And yeah, Skol Vikings. And hopefully the Timberwolves, they just lost tonight. They're 0-3 against the Dallas Mavericks. Hopefully we can pull out a win and start getting back in the series.